Multicultural education as a central event in the shaping of an adult's cultural life. The OED defines education as a systematic instruction, schooling, or training given to the young in preparation for the work of life. Education is thought of as a system of learning in which all are familiar with. However, even though all are familiar with the concept, education cannot be generalized because it applies differently to each person. It is a central event in the shaping of an adult's cultural life depending on the student's background. For example, an American student going to an American school will have a different type of education than an international student like me going abroad to an American school. Let's start off by dissecting the word multicultural. Multi meaning more than one, and cultural meaning of or relating to culture. Relating all of this to education, you come to question whether a multicultural education can really be multi. Can you really maintain more than one culture? Will the type of education received manifest a new identity in the student? Both of the following authors describe education differently. Richard Rodriguez, an American writer and son of Mexican immigrants, describes in his essay The Achievement of Desire education as a process of difficult but necessary alienation from his home, his childhood, and his family. Paulo Freire, one of the most influential radical educators in the world, in his essay The Banking Concept of Education, defines education as a banking concept suffering from a narration sickness, saying that education molds students into robots who only memorize and collect data but do not understand it. Rodriguez realizes he has no true culture for he has lost himself in his pursuit for education. The only thing that reminds him of his origins are, as he states, his shabby clothes, his persistent poverty. Rodriguez embodies Freire's theory of education when he accepts he is the great mimic, a collector of thoughts, not a thinker. He relies on his teacher. An alternative to this, according to Freire, is the problem-posing theory of education. With this method of education, students are able to decide what they want to believe, and instead of abiding to the teacher's thoughts, through class dialogue they are able to make their own thoughts of things. A student with a different culture will have the opportunity to give a different perspective to the class, and consequently not be forced to reshape or lose their culture. Being an international student and receiving a British education throughout high school, I received a problem-posing education and a multicultural education that allowed me to sustain my Salvadoran identity by questioning my teacher and not simply taking up his ideas and beliefs which came with his British culture. With this said, I relate to Rodriguez's theory of the scholarship boy in the sense that I do see education as a key to success and escape from my country of El Salvador for the search of better job opportunities. However, I disagree with the fact that to pursue such education you must pick between your family and academics. Regardless of studying in a different country, I still keep in touch with my family. I do not forget where I come from or what made me come here. To me, education cannot erase the past events in my life that shaped who I am and brought me to where I am now. These memories marked my life and set me apart from the typical scholarship person. As to what Freire has to say, people can become receptacles, but that depends on the teaching method they receive. Education does not necessarily have to shape your cultural identity. It is a matter of whether you let it or not.